business people.
Yeah, correct.
And I chose the other profession where I wanted to be of real service to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I had a calling to the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. I always loved the armed forces, and I went in 1988. Okay, so I've had a long career.
Yeah.
Exciting career. And after that, during that career, I had a number of landmark things that I would have achieved, such as the current structure of the regiment being used. I was the one who designed that structure. So that is over 10 years now. Yeah. I did papers for the APC, Armored Patrol Vehicles and Carriers. And I also reconstituted the 2nd Infantry Battalion. I was called to sort, and I did the operational division, which was structured by me as well, written by me, and was operationalized. And that was very active, where we had the first drug bust in the Carcass, some $10 million worth. So again, those are just some of the landmark things in the regiment
that you've achieved.
I've achieved.
All right. So, well, national service seems to be a thing. What made you decide on politics?
Politics was not a natural calling. It was never planned. However, it was an easy decision based on the last 5 years and looking at the regression of the country. The economy is in tatters. Security is worse ever. Just last year, we were the 6th most violent country in the world, according to the stats.
Yeah.
And this year, we would have been probably the 3rd or 4th, based on the trajectory of the murders. You know, so, and those are just some of the issues. The most important is that having walked St. Joseph, you can see the pain and the neglect by this current government. You have people in abject poverty. I met a lady recently of Mount Hope Extension, and it was heart-rendering.
Yes,
to see how people.
I saw that video. You posted it where you were speaking to some of the residents, and you saw that lady in a galvanized structure.
Yes, and what do you think is her flooring? The flooring is the ground.
Wow.
You know, and no running water. The roof is full of holes.
Right.
She's there with her husband. It's a family, one daughter. The daughter, she has been trying for some time to get her into a school, so she's home full time, the daughter.
Right.
Not having received any sort of schooling. So I told her I would see what I could do.
Yeah.
You know, and I promised her to drop some hampers for her, one every week.
Yeah.
And that has been done, and it will continue.
Nice.
And that is just one of the many cases that I've been treating
I saw
with.
that video. I was like tearing up because I watched it.
You'll be surprised how many communities are like that in St. Joseph.
Yeah. Because I know St. Joseph have two parts. It have a more affluent part, and it also have a
the depressed areas.
Depressed areas,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I I'm from Digo, but I live in that constituency.
Yes.
So I mean, there's you see there's a lot needs to be done up there, right? Was it, well, from what you're saying, I don't think politics was a difficult decision for you.
No, it was very easy based on the issues affecting the country. I mean, you had 4 years of negative growth. Before COVID,
Yeah.
and then during COVID, all of a sudden things looking bright when most things were shut down.
Yeah.
The logic escapes me tremendously, and things are looking all of a sudden bright.
Yeah.
I know I've walked the ground.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks, I normally take my special daughter to Twin City Mall.
Yeah.
And we were walking, and I said, let me go upstairs because I normally push her around on the ground floor, and then we go up to the first floor. And over 50, or close to, I would say, 50% of the stores have been closed. Not just closed for business, shut down.
Shut down.
It is a sign that the economy is in tatters.
Yeah.
I mean, people, first of all, the grants that were pledged, a large part of the population never qualified based on the diplomacy and set out in the requirements.
Yeah, the bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Good. And those who applied, right, many have not received those grants. So they keep saying, we're going to provide this, but they don't. Just like the face mask.
Yeah.
You know, he did declare that he's going to provide $5 million worth of face masks.
Yeah.
I don't think the public has received one to date.
I don't know. I haven't.
That's a question to be answered.
Yeah, well, that's like, we should put on our list of calls to get.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the crime issue.
Yeah.
That is going to continue. What you have is a bit of suppression because of the COVID lockdown.
But we saw this weekend there were 7 murders.
Murders, yes. Even during the COVID, you have the murders. What
Yeah.
is going to happen, according to the literature and criminology, is that you're compressing the issues.
Yeah.
And when you release it, it becomes a spring, and you're going to have crime escalating soon after. But it is actually happening now. You had double, triple, quadruple murders taking place. So.
And so let's get back to St. Joseph. After walking the ground, what do you see as the biggest challenges that is facing the people of that constituency, St. Joseph? Because it starts from where Arangwes?
Yes, south of Arangwes,
Right.
that at Bamboo Settlement number 1,
Right.
and goes all the way up north
Right, to
to
there by
Elizabeth
Arangwes,
Gardens.
Savannah, around that side.
Keeps going.
Yeah, keep going.
All up to Elizabeth
Gardens, right.
That is, and just after that, the Silver Bridge,
Yeah.
the Balata
Right.
Road.
Yeah.
And that's the northern boundary.
Right, yeah. The Silver Bridge, right, and on the bridge, right.
Right.
Right, so what have you seen? Have you traversed the entire constituency?
Yes, I have.
And what do you see? What do you think is the biggest, at least give me about 3 are the biggest challenges
Well,
they
the
face?
first one is unemployment.
Right.
Okay. The high crime rate and the regression of all the infrastructure, housing, you have flooding, right? Poor drainage, siltation, clogged drains, garbage pile up here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Water. So I've given
Yeah.
you more than 3.
You're right,
But
yeah.
you see, the list is so long.
Yeah.
And I could keep going on and on.
Right.
We had projects on the United National Congress that was 95% completed. One of the major landmark project was the secondary school, Kirep, or the St. Joseph Secondary School.
Yeah, that's
It
only
used to
back
be
by
Kirep
Wassail.
Junior Secondary.
Yeah,
Right.
That was
It's
95,
only-
yes.
right. Farm
right.
Road, that's Farm Road, right?
Yes, behind
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That was 95% completed. And that they refused to complete the project, open it for the youths, the students of St. Joseph. Right now, that has been dilapidated, vandalized. It's going to take millions
Extra.
to bring that back.
To bring it back to
the 95% completion and to
then
complete it
finish
and
it,
then
yeah.
open it. And that's just one of the many projects. You know,
that you plan to take on, should you?
Yes, that we have to continue with what we started. For example, desiltation, clearing of drains. We've done that with limited resources, so the farmers are quite happy in that we've alleviated a large potential of probable flooding
when
should
the rain
rains come.
starts, yeah.
And that was done on the southern side of the highway as well.
Right.
You had drains and rivers that were plugged for over 8 to 15 years. And we went in there and we cleared that. And you also have the box drains now running off because those lower areas have been cleared. So most of our Rangways, the drains are running. And you have, what you had before was stagnant water.
Yes.
You had pests because of that. And of course, it was very pungent
Yes.
to the citizens.
Yeah.
And that was a major issue as well.
Right, that's the only back by Johnny King Road down that
All
side.
there, yes.
Right. Youth. The youth of this country seem to be, I wouldn't say all, but a great majority of them going astray. Do you have any plans for the youths? Because in St. Joseph, I mean, I drive through there every day.
Yes.
Right, because I live further up in Maracas Valley.
Yes.
And you see them, they're just on the corner line, man. What do you have in plans for, because I know when we were growing up, it's a different time. Now you have to deal with them a little different. What do you think you have in plan for that?
Now, what contributes to that
Yeah.
is that we have somewhat of a poor educational system.
Correct.
You have 9,000 students every year after CXC not going further in the system. So they're now on the breadline. A lot of them have issues at home because the home is from most of them depressed communities.
Yeah.
Is the working class homes, So we have to get corporate sponsorship, businesses to come on board and rejuvenate entrepreneurship, where we could have micro and small business startups. So to take them and put them right away into these initiatives. Secondly, we will move towards vocational training. You don't see any of that around St. Joseph, which is very strange, and many areas of Trinidad and Tobago. So when you give them a skill and you certify them, you now make them employable. Also, that will develop a national skills bank where we could take those skills and probably export it internationally, because there are many large countries that do not have that readily available skills. So you'll get electricians, you'll get masons, you'll get air conditioned person.
Yeah.
And you provide an opportunity for external exposure as well as the increased, foreign reserves in your country.
Yeah, because they'll obviously send money back.
And that system is from the agriculture system, as you would know.
Yeah.
We have a number of nationals who qualify to go away to Canada and even America and other countries during the reaping season.
Yeah.
For short-term employment. So we could do the same things with the skills program.
Right, and spread it out. So we have more people.
Yes.
Gainfully doing stuff. I think that I've heard it bandied about that should the UNC go into power, you would be the obvious choice for Minister of National Security.
Tell us about that.
That is a decision which must be left up to my political leader when she becomes the Prime Minister.
Right. But do you think you can contribute positively and properly to...
I think my resume speaks volumes, but I don't want to go that area.
Yeah.
I will leave that up to my Prime Minister.
Right, okay.
who is Kamala Prasad Bissessa.
Right.
Come after the 10th of August.
Right. Now, I don't want to go into so much, tit for tat and that kind of thing, because we try to stay away from that here. But you're going up against Mr. Dialsing.
Yes.
What... You know him at all?
Of course I know of Terrible Terry.
And what do you think has he done stuff for St. Joseph? Has he's not? Let me hear looking from your eyes.
Let me tell you what he has done. Right. He has been an excellent MIA MP. MIA is the acronym for Missing in Action.
Yeah. Well, we call MPs here missing persons.
Right. So he's MIA.
Right.
All right. He went 5 years ago and sought the people's support to recommend him to carry out a mandate for them.
Yeah.
And after that, you couldn't find him. That is the number one complaint. And now I said I've walked
the entire
constituency.
Yeah.
So the first complaint is they don't see him. I say, well, why? Why he doesn't come around? Because of certain other things which I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but as you said, I don't want to get into the character issues.
Yeah.
But he has failed, to provide improvement with the infrastructure. The drains are a mess. The roads are bad. However, I've seen recently where it's an election gimmick where they started paving certain parts of where he supposedly says is his strongholds.
Right.
So he's only paving there.
Right.
But the remainder of the constituency, no road paving is taking place. Water is an issue. When you look at Upper Mount Hope, Mount Doe, Irvin Street, Hutton Road, you have Cayman Road.
Yeah.
Poor water. People are without water for weeks. When my first walk was at Quarry Drive, there was an elderly woman, and when I went up there to the top of the hill, she said, "Colonel, come, I want to show you something." And she's 80.
Right.
So I went in. She took me into her room. She said, "Look, no water." It says 2 months now I can't bathe. And that is what started water distribution for us. And we have a water brigade that we started 6 weeks ago.
Right.
And we've been providing water consistently. We've been collecting garbage. Hutton Road, when you enter Hutton Road, it was smelling to the high heavens. And the surrounding areas. And what is the problem? The problem is you have narrow lanes inside these places. The trucks don't go into these places.
Right.
So the people are forced now, because there's no garbage collection.
So they make a heap.
At the corner.
Right.
So
just garbage pile up.
Yeah, so every day it's in heaps.
Right.
Cayman Road, the poor water distribution. So they put up tank stations on foundation blocks, which are not safe. And next to the tanks would be the garbage pile up.
Wow.
And then a dog pass and rip it and
exactly.
And suffer, yeah.
Good. So again, 5 weeks ago, we've started garbage collection. And the area, they know when we pass, we don't just take up the bags. Our garbage collectors actually scrape the ground.
Right.
So therefore, all the mess and whatever is left or used to be left by the incumbent, we would pick that up. So that's serviced by the corporation. We will clean it, have it spotless. So, but strange enough, because you're not solving the problem and we're treating symptoms for the time being, every 2 days, 3 days, piles up again. So we have to go back in, clearing. So we provided a service, and we will do so until further notice every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Of course, there are countermeasures that the incumbent is trying to implement. He's now trying to have a 4-day open tray service and a 4-day compactor service, which they never used to have. I think it used to be 1 day open tray service and a 3-day compactor service. But again, very irregular. If there was a holiday, for example, on a Wednesday, they're not passing,
right.
and they're not coming again until Friday.
Yeah, so days and days are rubbish.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are just some of the issues.
Yeah, all right. And what do you think you are able, should you be elected, what do you think you would be able to bring to St. Joseph in terms of...
Service is the first thing.
Right.
But before you could serve, you have to listen.
Right.
So I'll interact on a regular basis, because you learn what to do from people and sometimes what not to do. I will not be Terrible Terry. I will not come for your vote today at this election period and 5 years down the road come back being absent for that entire period. So my plan is to walk the constituency once a quarter. Interface with everybody, as well as be there on a regular basis in office so that people could come to you. All right? So we must have that interaction to be able to stay in touch, not to disconnect yourself. How could you be of service to people that you don't meet, you don't know, and say, well, these agencies and this corporation is responsible for basic things, but you as the MP, they are your constituents. This is your constituency.
Because they would have chosen you to represent.
You are their representative. So that is the first thing.
Right.
And this is in alignment with my entire life as of service in the military to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
You know, you put I always put my soldiers first.
Right.
Take care of all their needs, as well as training them, getting them ready. It's the same thing. I have to take care of my people. I have to address their concerns of poor housing. I have to start employment schemes, as I indicated earlier on. We have to rejuvenate micro and small business, because Tanti in her kitchen could prepare dishes and pastries that we could provide a small market within the area to get her going. We could open up power washing companies, i.e. 3-man, 4-man teams, give them the impetus by way of financing, where you could now take these young fellas, train them up, and you could have cleaning services. You know, because Trinidad and Tobago, you can now employ them, and they could come together, and they could eventually start tendering at that level. But you have to build them. So you have to show them, you have to educate them, and send them out into the field and give them the opportunities. So that's what I'm going to bring. We have to transform St. Joseph into a model community. And why I say that, we have one of the biggest hospitals in St. Joseph.
Right.
Look at the industries, Carib, the best performing, Unilever.
Yeah.
When you go into Boundary Road, all those manufacturing companies, My brother's company is on Boundary Road.
Yeah.
Radical Designs.
Yeah.
Okay. When you go on Arang West Main Road,
Yeah.
you have most, if not a large percent, of St. Joseph highly industrialized. And you're telling me that we're suffering from these kind of issues? Renewable energy, we must come with that. That is part of our master economic development plan with 12 engines of growth. So we're going to have biotechnology up and down St. Joseph. We're going to look at renewable energy. Why? Because we have plenty sun, you know? So we can make use of all these things. And it is based on a philosophy of people-centric, in keeping with the party's philosophy.
All right. All right. How long now have you been walking? Walking? Yeah. Roughly.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Going on 7 weeks.
All right. And what has been the response you've gotten from the constituents?
The people.
You've seen. I'm sure you've seen some of them more than once.
Yes.
Right. So let me hear. How are they accepting you? What sort of feedback?
I am referred to as a breath of fresh air. Right. And
well, in some of those places, they really need a breath of fresh air.
And they say, well, he's a handsome fellow, man.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. My mother-in-law said that. You came by her last week.
Right. And and truly, you see, they see the difference. I listen to them. I don't just come and shake your hand quickly and run off to shake another person's hand.
Yeah.
You know, that's not meeting someone.
Right.
You want to be an MP, you have to start listening. So I'm a good listener. I listen, and that is what they like.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman who came, listened to their plight, and right away we put actions in place, right? And we started dealing with those issues, such as water distribution, garbage collection. We have started a number of small projects, like putting up tank stands, right, with tanks for certain areas. We went in when people lost their roofs.
Yeah.
We went in immediately the same day, provided roofing material. Because if I lost my roof and you have rain coming the very next day and the other 2 days, you want to know that we could do something,
quickly,
right?
Yeah.
And we provided them with the canvases and so on to lock down that exposed area
until more permanent stuff can get done.
And most importantly, people are suffering. A number of people don't have the wherewithal to put meals on the table on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And we have supplied close to 3,000 hampers up and down St. Joseph.
Wow.
And you'll be surprised. That gives you an idea of how many people are suffering and their poor circumstance. You have unemployment is so high, you know, so we need to kickstart the economy. And who has the plan? Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the United National Congress, including St. Joseph. We have the plans.
Right.
So I have a 60-day plan that I'm going to come right away and put in place. And you will see the difference. We will get St. Joseph working again.
All right.
All right,
nice.
But before we could even go further, what about like sporting activity in St. Joseph itself? What are your plans for sporting activities?
Good. Well, you know, St. Joseph has the biggest savannah. Football.
Yeah.
Football is a big thing.
Yeah.
Cricket, I've already donated some stuff to the cricket club, Arangwest Cricket Club.
Yeah.
And they are also incorporated the steel pan.
Yeah.
Right, so they have a steel pan side.
Right there under the pavilion, yeah.
Right, so we're going to fix those facilities to make sure when things open back up a bit, you know, the youth will have somewhere to play their sports and to encourage leagues. Playing football or small goal and so on is good, but when you start to develop leagues,
you develop discipline,
yes, right, and you develop the skills, and then now you provide opportunities, because now they could go into the national competitions, and people, you have, you know, coaches who are headhunters, could find these skills,
they have more eyes on them,
opportunities for them.
Yeah.
And right now we have just completed in my tower a project where there's a street court where they play basketball and small goal, and we have just completed that for them. And we also provided a power washer for a small group of 3 persons, the same micro business I'm talking about, and they have organized themselves, and they have just opened up a power washing group, so they could now generate
some income.
and they will be off. So I've given them a place to be constructive by way of employment as well as to recreate.
Yeah.
And not on the street just liming.
Nice. So, well, just before we wrap up,
Yes.
I want you to, the mic is yours. All right,
Yes,
let's
sir.
stop the music. Talk to the constituents of St. Joseph. Tell them what you want to tell them. Because I don't know if you're going to be back with us before, because I know your pace, you're going to be going. I've seen you've been going.
Yes.
So
I'll keep it short and simple.
Yeah.
You know, people of St. Joseph, I've heard your cries. I feel your pain. I've seen your suffering. Fear not. The United National Congress, under the pilot of our esteemed leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who is heading that main battle tank, ably assisted by her deputy leader, Jolene John, Dr. Lee, and Kadisha. And of course, your gunner is locked and loaded. And I'll be firing patriots. I fired one already. I'm coming with more. We are coming to address your issues. We are coming with relief. Do not despair. Come out and make the change. Let us get St. Joseph going again. Let us get St. Joseph working. I love you, St. Joseph. I love the people of St. Joseph. You are like my hometown. My first job was in St. Joseph, at St. Joseph Boys RC. And then I went to Mount Lambert. When I got married, I lived 9 years in St. Joseph. So St. Joseph is close to my heart. I love you all, and I want what's best for you all. I am coming, St. Joseph. We are coming to make that change. Come out on the 10th of August and vote UNC.
All right. So thank you, Colonel Hunt, for coming.
Thank you,
It was
sir,
a
for having
pleasure.
me.
And I hope we could see you before the election. But if not, good luck. All
Thank
the
you.
best.
Thank you.
And you'll see me out because you're in my constituency.
Right.
All right?
Okay, nice.
All right.
Good.
Okay, thanks a
All
lot
right.
for coming.
Okay.
Now is the time!